Did you hear the story about the woman who found her own picture in the missing children's database because her mother had kidnapped her? Carlina White was raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut, but back then she was known as Nedra Nance. She was raised by a single mother by the name of Ann Petaway, and she said her childhood was normal. She loved her mother and she loved herself. It wasn't until Carlina became pregnant with her own child that she began to question her identity. Carlina says she always felt like something was a little off because she looked absolutely nothing like her mother. But in 2005, when she became pregnant, she went to her mother and asked her for her birth certificate, and her mother started acting real funny. So Carlina went down to the vital statistics office and requested a copy of her birth certificate, and the clerk looked at her and said, "Your records don't exist." The clerk even accused her of trying to establish a fake identity, so she called the Department of Children and Families on Carlina. A few days later, Carlina's mother told her that she had a confession to make. She said that she wasn't really Carlina's mother and that her real parents had abandoned her when she was a baby. But when she began to question her mother about it, she didn't offer any other details. So Carlina decided she was going to do some research on her own. For years, she searched through records and old newspaper articles, trying to learn as much as she could about kids who were kidnapped around the time that she was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut. She never found a match to her own story until one day in 2010 when she decided to expand her search to go outside of the Connecticut area. As she searched through the photos of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, she was shocked when she saw a photo of a baby that looked just like her own daughter. It was at this moment that she realized that she had been kidnapped. So she called the missing kids line and reported herself, and they connected her with her birth parents for the first time. Once she was connected with her biological mother, she learned the truth about her abduction. She learned that she had been abducted from New York City's Harlem Hospital in August of 1987 when she was just 19 days old. The woman who raised her, Ann Petaway, had been stalking the hospital for months, trying to target a baby to steal. When Carlina's parents brought her into the hospital because she had a high fever, they ran into Ann Petaway dressed as a nurse, and she started chatting with them. As the night went on, baby Carlina was hooked up to the IV so she can get fluids, and then her parents stepped away so that they could take a break. By the time they got back to their daughter, Carlina was gone. Ann Petaway had smuggled Carlina out of the hospital and taken her home. Ann Petaway was arrested and sentenced to 12 years in prison for kidnapping Carlina, although her parents think that Ann Petaway should have gotten way much more time. While incarcerated, Ann Petaway apologized to Carlina's family, saying that she was sorry for what she did. She explained that she had so many miscarriages, she wasn't sure if she was ever going to get to be a mother. After all this, Carlina has tried to create a new identity for herself and trying to bond with the parents that she never got to know, but she says it's not easy. Carlina testified on her mother's behalf because she says, even though she's a kidnapper, she still loves her mother. What do you think of this story? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Te-Erika with the T. Follow for more.